Yeah, I said this was going to be a busy day. And here it is. I'm not done. So, they're delving into this investigation with the incident at Drake's house earlier today with his security. Unfortunately, the security guard was, how do I say this for YouTube? He was pow in the chest. I hate having to use these offbeat terms, but he was found laying on the ground, and they contacted the EMS 911 system, got him to the hospital, and he went straight into surgery. So I'm praying for his speedy recovery, and I hope no one else has to face any more unnecessary bloodshed. Now, I tapped into the energy earlier of what was going on around Drake, and I saw nothing but turmoil, um, fighting within the OVO camp. Things are not well, okay? Also, there's been a long standing beef, not just between him and Kendrick Lamar, but he and The Weeknd. Before I go any further, I'm being rude. Hi, everybody. Grand Rising, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time you click on this video is the right time for you. And I thank you in advance for your viewership and support. Now let me proceed. Last week, a security guard in the Weeknd's camp was also put in the same situation, and there's been a back and forth between The Weeknd and Drake, I want to say since 2016. Now, the reason why this is relevant is because nothing can be left off the table at this point. Now, the authorities are going to want to speak to some of everybody that is involved in these situations, this unfortunate, you know, offshoot from the beef, okay? Now, for those who don't know, The Weeknd was found by a member of Drake's crew in the mid 2000s, and they brought him to Drake so that he could hear him and bear witness to his talent. Now, The Weeknd, whose actual name is Abel, he was in the midst of doing mixtapes, and the first song that he ever did with Drake, I'm trying to remember what's the name of that song. The Zone. There it is. I like The Zone. The Zone was a very interesting song. After The Zone, it was well received. The Weeknd worked on music that ended up on Drake's next album. Was that Thank Me Later album? I believe that's what it was called. He worked on 6 separate songs, and 5 of them made it to that project. This was considered one of the best albums that Drake had ever done. It was assumed that The Weeknd would sign to OVO, but he chose to go with Republic, which is the same label as Nikki, and I believe Cash Dow, which turned out to be a very good business investment for him. But for Drake, not so much, because Drake anticipated making hundreds of millions of dollars with The Weeknd signed to his label and working on his projects. Just didn't work out that way. So these two have been exchanging verbal slugs at each other for at least, I want to say, what, 7 years? So now that we fast forward, the Push Up song, there was a diss to The Weeknd's manager, and it kind of like kicked up dust and reignited things. And now everybody can see why J. Cole decided to back out of this situation, because it's almost like he knew a storm was brewing and he wanted no parts of this. And when I did the energetic tap in with J. Cole in one of our lives that we do on Wednesdays, I saw that he genuinely did apologize, and he just did not want the smoke. He didn't want the onslaught of what was to come. Now we understand why. So now that I got that history out the way, for everyone who may not be abreast of everything that was going on with this whole back and forth between The Weeknd and Drake, I can go ahead and tap into the energy around what is going on between the two of these gentlemen and see if there's any validity to The Weeknd possibly, or The Weeknd's team possibly having real serious issues with Drake. Because right now, no one can be left off the table, and this investigation is going to really yield some interesting information. So everything is developing as we speak. No one is sure about how any of this is tied together or how it's working. But energetically, I'm going to tap in to see what I can see. So if anyone can timestamp this for me, please timestamp it at 7:50 for where the reading started. And I thank you everyone for your patience in advance for letting me explain this for the people who don't understand why these two have any issues. Spirit guides, angels, and ancestors of the highest heavenly order, please show me the energy around The Weeknd and Drake. Is there any real animosity, and could that animosity have spilled over in violence? Five of Pentacles. Okay. Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Ace of Wands. That means that there was a loss, a tremendous loss, when somebody moved on. And when they moved on very swiftly. So what I'm getting is Drake has always been upset because he felt like he lost a lot on an investment. He lost a lot of money, or he lost a lot of money that was potentially going to be made. Either way, he feels like there was a big loss, and it was substantial. Where'd they go? Oh, wow. No wonder these flew up under the table. So we've got the Ten of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. So that's like somebody who felt heavily betrayed, like to the point of no return. Someone expected an apology, okay? And someone is being very defensive or combative. So Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck to the Eight of Wands is showing me that there's a lot of animosity, a lot of harsh conversation, and things came about swiftly between the two. And then there was a separation. Walked away from the business relationship and walked away from whatever the potential friendship was. Temperance, wanting balance through a new beginning. Okay, wanting balance through a new beginning. So Drake wanted him to come back. There was a lot of hard feelings here. Okay, so this is a major secret. You got a huge moon here, and this moon is over water. And there's a face in this moon. So there is a lot of secrets here. And I'm also looking at, there's a vessel. There's something up under this water. Something that is traveling towards a destination that is not being seen, but it is moving in secret. Okay, so you see this under the water that's moving in secret. And this is attached to the energy of manifestation. Three of Wands. So what I'm getting is the way that the Weeknd left may have come by total surprise. Like nobody knew until it happened. And then boom, this ended up being his big break. Bottom of the deck, Five of Cups. That's deep sympathy and regret. Being extremely upset about his big break or his opportunity. A lot of love lost. This is, you know, a chalice in reverse falling under the Five of Pentacles. So when you have everything being poured out, this is like, once again, somebody feels like there is a major loss here. So I'm taking it that this is on Drake's side. He feels like there was a loss on his investment. He feels like this feels like he feels like his kindness was taken for weakness. Everything that he poured into this situation was wasted. I allowed you into my family type energy. Ten of Cups. Five of Cups to the Queen of Cups. So deep, like I said, deep sympathy and regret. This is also the feeling of intuition. Like you possibly should have known better, or someone could have told him that there was like a tension boiling over and it wasn't going to possibly end well. Wounded Warrior, Nine of Wands. Angels and spirit guides, tell me, is Drake justified to be in these feelings? Because I feel like there's something that's not being discussed here. Because I got two cards here on the table that have moons in them, which means there is a secret attached to why the Weeknd decided to separate. Um, what I say, it's a secret. Okay, so you've got the High Priestess and you've got the Ten of Cups, and that falls right here under this Eight of Cups. Now, we all know the High Priestess is a gatekeeper for the Akashic Records and the Ten of Cups, and then we have this Two of Wands. There was an opportunity that he didn't want to take because it was the way that it was presented to him through Drake as a gatekeeper. There was a way that he wanted him to come into the industry that he didn't quite agree with. Y'all, if this was alive and you could see my face right now, there was a choice that was made that was a definite cut off, turn off. If you could just play Bishop Bullwinkle, hell no, to the no, no, no. Okay? It falls under this temperance, which was supposed to give balance through a new beginning. But this decision was a definite no. It was a chop. And once again, you see how it is a secret attached to why this person cut off this opportunity. There was just certain things that he was not going to take part in, that he was not going to be privy to. And this left Drake as the wounded warrior. So here it is. You've got the Chariot and you've got the Ten of Wands. This is like, I'm moving forward because I'm not about to carry all these bricks on my shoulder. This is too much for me to bear. And due to this secret attached to what he was not willing to be a part of, he decided to move on. This was not his cup of tea. He did not sign up for this. He was not going to do this. And yeah, Six of Pentacles. So explain the Six of Pentacles to me, because this is like receiving money that like somebody, you know, lavishes you with money, like hitting the lottery, or, you know, going on a shopping spree and everything's on me type thing. And then this Three of Wands. This energy feels so familiar, and I don't want to be the one to call it. I promise you I don't want to be the one to call it. But it feels like we've already seen something like this year. King of Cups, King of Swords. Velvet Glove, Iron Fist. This is also someone who is very, very deep in their emotions, someone who can move out of emotion, and when their feelings get hurt, they go off into the King of Swords and they become vicious, okay? And this is attached to this Three of Wands. So when the Weeknd got his opportunity, when he got this ships that came in, this blessing that was for him to go ahead and take this deal away from OVO, this was the energy that I'm sensing that Drake was in, allegedly. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. This is the card of truth. Here it is. The card of truth came out. It falls under this chalice in reverse, which is a situation that was a wash, a waste. Of Queen of Wands, Nine of Cups, bottom of the deck, King of Pentacles to the Emperor. It's almost as if Drake wants everybody to live with him and live off of him so that he can always remain king for the day. If he's the man of the house and everybody has to fall in place with him to do what he says, he will always have the upper hand. I wouldn't want to accept a deal under those types of circumstances either. So I don't blame him for wanting to be his own man. And see, Queen of Wands, you know, if you're talking about a woman, this is a very attractive woman. But if you're talking about an offer, this was a offer of a lifetime. This is the way that Drake saw it. Like he wanted the two of them to be the there's no other way to say this because my spirit guides are saying the king and queen of the palace. He would be the king. The Weeknd would be the queen, as in, you know, I'm up first and you are, you know, my close second. You are my protege. This is taking a very weird turn. King of Pentacles. Okay. And then you've got the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck and the Emperor with the Five of Swords. A choice had to be made due to a controlling tyrant type person who could be argumentative or dismissive and disrespectful in their tone. Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Two of Wands to the Emperor to the Five of Swords. So Drake can be, at times, allegedly, this feels like he can be verbally abusive. He can be controlling. And he puts people in positions to where he is always the one that is going to be on top. He is always going to be the only one positioned on top. So you have to take whatever he gives. Goodness, what the, wow. There are no, it's like there are no opportunities unless he says so. So as long as you're in his regime, you will always work to build him, and it's up to him how you get built. Nine of Wands. So this family situation no longer quite felt like family, okay? King of Wands due to the actions of the ruler of the castle, okay? This, wow, Drake. So, yeah, Two of Wands. A decision had to be made to cut off this situation, to have balance through a new beginning. So this looks like the Weeknd secretly decided to get the hell out of Dodge because this situation was too heavy for him. It was like carrying around bricks on his shoulder. Knight of Wands to the Eight of Wands. He got out on the first thing smoking as fast as he possibly could. Yeah, due to the actions of Drake and an attractive opportunity that was presented to him. And this opportunity brought stability. Four of Wands. That's going off into, you know, an engagement, a contract, a commitment. So here he is going into this contract, taking up a commitment with another label, and it ends up being fruitful for him. And happier times come after he leaves. But here's Bitter Betty right here. I couldn't even say it. Goodness. Yeah, here's Bitter Betty right here, who's mad that you got, you know, from out of his grasp. Because I want you to pay attention to this King of Cups, okay? You got this King of Cups. He's opulent, of course. And then you've got all the little workers here, which are the fish that swim around him. Without him, there is no motion. They don't have motion without, you know, with whatever crumbs he throws to them. They have to take whatever they get in the camp. This feels like there's no room for real promotion, and allegedly the Weeknd picked up on that and he chose to just choose himself. So this is the breakdown to why he separated the way that he did, and I understand why he made this choice, because business wise he saw that he could only go so far. Like, if I sign with you, I'm going to solely just sit here and build your brand, but what about mine? So he devised a plan to, you know, move in silence and get the hell out of Dodge. So how does this have anything to do with what's going on now, spirit guides? If there is a link, please let me see. So 8 of Pentacles, which is a work card. So Justice and the 6 of Pentacles. So Justice represents karmic balance, as well as it represents there was a possibility that there could have been some kind of litigation over money, or the justice that came out of this for the Weeknd came in the form of an advance so that he could go and do his own project and move on. And Drake felt like he owed him a piece of that, or he owed him his success. And you got the 7 of Swords here that falls under the King of Pentacles. And then you got the Empress. So he secretly started working on, as far as the Weeknd, he secretly started working on his own project and stashing things away to bring to fruition for his own album that was to come. And this ended up bringing him justice. Okay, so the World just flew out on the table. And I got the 4 of Swords, the Hierophant, the Page of Wands, and the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Hold on. So this World in reverse means that a whole new chapter opened up, a new cycle opened up after a decision was made. You know, out with the old, in with the new. After having to possibly lay a situation to rest, or having to go dormant for a while. And then you've got the Hierophant, which represents higher authorities who offered a new opportunity. And it was forward movement and expansion, Ace of Wands. And that brought on all the bickering and the arguing and the negative energy, because the Weeknd now was a man of his own. He no longer was, being held or bound to not being sure about what his future was going to be. Yeah, like I said, he got out as fast as he possibly could due to whatever this situation is that's going on here. And I'm trying so hard to be respectful, but this is some weird shit, y'all. Yeah. So it's like some things are going to come out, because Eight of Swords is like being bound, being binded. That's also a card of law enforcement, being locked up. Something's going to come out. Something's going to come out very soon that's going to start to leading to some arrests. There's going to be some questions that need to be answered, and this is going to be a very sticky situation with both of these bodyguards, being gunned down. Six of Pentacles is falling out under the Eight of Pentacles. So that's a substantial amount of money that was placed in the Weeknd's hands for him to work on his own project. Also, this feels like Drake is like, I poured a lot into you. I spent a lot of money. I gave a lot of influence. And this hangman comes out under this Seven of Swords. It was a hangman that the Weeknd, he made sure he didn't let the right hand know what the left hand was doing. He kept his mouth closed. He kept his head down. He worked. And he did all of this up under everyone's nose until he got up out of there. And this explains why Drake feels so betrayed. Four of Pentacles and the Hierophant just showed while I was shuffling. And it's like the powers that be that bring ultimate stability in income. And it feels like the Weeknd didn't want to just leave. He went back and forth with this thought. And he realized that there was better for him out there. So he did what was best for him. And this is explaining the Eight of Cups under the moon, why he decided to leave the way that he did. The Star and the Hierophant. So this right here, it's like the industry, the powers that be, the ones that offer opportunities, they saw themselves that the Weeknd had promise, that he had star potential, and they opened this door for him so that he could go ahead and make the decision to work on his own. Now, I was looking at this at the bottom of the deck, and I promise y'all I did not want to mention that this was down there. But this falls under this moon, the Chariot, the Ten of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Four of Swords. Bringing a situation to a rest. So a whole lot had to be cut out of the Weeknd's life and brought to rest. Relationships he had to separate from. People he had to separate from. It was like his life had to do a whole 180. He had to be sure that whoever he was dating was not still in communication with. The camp that he left, like, this is, wow. Six of Cups and the Strength. So, you know, this is like situations from the past. When you go back in the past and you look over everything you went through, and you just had to push through. You had to remain strong until you can get out of this situation. Because he felt trapped. He felt binded to this so-called opportunity. And when he realized what, you know, this opportunity really had in its grasp, this wasn't the way that he wanted to go about things and how he wanted to get to the next level. So he chose to leave. Nine of Pentacles, the Independent Woman, and the Emperor. So, Independent Woman and the Emperor. It's an interesting analogy because I just, you know, got the analogy of the king and queen of the castle. And then it's like, here it is. Like, I came into this situation pretty much already prepped and ready to go. I was already an artist. I already had music, you know, ready to be released. Even though, you know, you're in control of everything. I feel like he was like, the Weeknd felt more like a ready-made artist. It wasn't really much that needed to be done for him. Page of Wands, Five of Wands. And see, he got tired of this constant back and forth, this bickering, this harsh communication. And he knew that change had to come. He had to find new opportunities, new ways to go about things, new ways to realize his dreams. Because the situation was stagnant. It's like, you know, this hangman here. I could see me helping you, but I don't see how this is going to help me in the long run, and I don't want to be trapped in a bad situation. Something about this situation felt like an unrequited offer, as if it's like, you know, a bird in a cage that wants to be free. You know, I'm going to always make you look good, but when is it going to ever be my turn? So he decided to step out on faith and take a leap of faith and sow seeds into himself, into his own career. You know, here it is. I'm giving you great material, but I need to keep some of that material for myself so that I can harvest from my own gifts. And for Drake, this was an unrequited offer. But the unrequited offer more so came from the people from the top who made the decision to offer the Weeknd this offer. And it's like this is where the seeds, you know, were planted in this situation that was attached to the secrets. It's like, I'm going to work, I'm going to work, I'm going to work, I'm going to stack up as much music as I can, and then I'm going to go out and shop myself until this harvest, you know, a huge yield for me. So it goes from arguing to actually fighting. There may have been threats of actual physical violence between the two, allegedly. Yeah, forward movement and expansion. He felt like he had to get away from this toxic negative energy. He felt like he was bind and yoked to, a situation that was dire when it was all said and done on his end. It wasn't that, you know, I don't like what I do here, but I don't see it expanding. It's toxic. It's never going to actually pay off for me the way that I needed to pay off for me. I feel like a hamster on a, what is that, on a wheel. The hamster is constantly running and running and running in place, but he's not going anywhere. And this is what the energy that I'm receiving, this is what it feels like for the Weeknd. He just felt like a hamster on a wheel, and he wanted to get off that wheel and actually do something, actually get somewhere, actually get his career off the ground. How long do I have to wait? I've been sowing all the seeds that I need to sow. I've been helping you. I've been investing into you. But when is it going to be my turn? And this is where all the fighting comes in. Oh, wait, Drake. You give some really, really controlling vibes to where it's like it's your turn when I say it's your turn. But really, it's like you pimp people for their talent, and their turn never really actually comes. Their job is to just be there to make you look good. This is what this feels like, allegedly. So I'm starting to side with the Weeknd, because from the outside looking in, it would seem like he took advantage. He was being ungrateful. But when you peel the layers back to this onion and you get to seeing everything that is transpiring behind the closed doors, behind the velvet rope, you begin to understand why he just knew that he had to just choose himself. This was something that he could not keep putting himself in, and he refused to do so. So I get it. Yep. This toxic, chaotic energy finally just came to a boil. Now here's the Tower. Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, Knight of Cups. So this is like, we see that you have the propensity to create and bring things into fruition. We see that you can be profitable. Here's an offer. So now he gets his offer to move on and invest in himself and put his own project out. And this was a Tower because it brought deep anxiety and sleepless nights to Drake. And this offer brought a very nice signing bonus, a very nice financial reward. And then here's this Nine of Swords hitting the table. Deep anxiety, coming swiftly. So there could have been possible alleged threats behind the scenes after the Weeknd took this offer. But it didn't matter. It paid off. It made big returns. Ace of Pentacles to Ten of Pentacles. And, it's like things went bad swiftly between them. And, here it is. Now that he's free, he has options. The Weeknd has multiple projects he can work on, multiple people he can write for. He's no longer stifled. He's not just trapped to working within OVO. He can work with all these different artists, all these different options. So it's like the world is his oyster now. And now he signs this contract and the money starts rolling in. And like I said, he can consider his options. He can work with some of whoever he wants to work with. Wheel of Fortune in the upright, the Knight of Swords. So it's like now, everybody's coming forward talking about this. He's doing great. Like, he's the talk of the town. He's making a name for himself. His name is popping. He's buzzing now. And now he's able to, go and get his own contracts, negotiations, and agreements. And this is like what gives him the stability, because now he gets his imprint, which means he's really his own man now. So instead of staying at OVO to work under someone to not know if or when you were ever going to make it, you now are sitting in the same position as the person who wanted to sign you. You are a boss just like he is a boss. So it was a great leap of faith that the Weeknd took. But I see a lot of salty energy on Drake's end, because he's mad at how this affected his stability. What he felt was supposed to be his contract, negotiation, and agreement. What he thought was supposed to be the commitment to him, the money that was supposed to be made for him. And now you're sitting here salty watching. But it's too late now, because he's got away from you. He's on towards victory. He's making his moves. He's his own man now. But Drake's still watching. And this card right here is a card of, not communicating much, not having much to say. This is like, if you walk into a room and it's rude not to speak type energy. We don't really talk. We don't really speak to each other. And this all brought heartbreak due to him not thinking or not knowing that the Weeknd could get this type of deal. He didn't think that he would be this big without him. He thought that he would be able to control his growth so that he could hold him there longer, so that he could do more work for him. So Drake is very selfish in some respects. Queen of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. So, goodness gracious. So this is where all the catty comments and the back and forth and all the shots come in. And you see this? 4 swords to the death card. That's someone resting, someone being laid to rest. Y'all. Four of Pentacles. So the war of, the roses, so to speak, in this situation is about somebody being mad that there was stability and opportunities outside of them, and not being able to be a third party to his success so that he could still make money off of him after he left. So this is where the real issue comes in with Drake. Drake didn't do whatever the necessary paperwork was in the first place to lock the Weeknd in. And when the Weeknd left owning everything that he was working on, being his own person, and there was no percentage to go back to Drake. So, and I'm going to leave this here. The Death card, which is a transition through a final ending, and the Magician. That means manifesting a final end. So thank you everyone for, tapping in with me. As you can see, this has been a busy day. The readings that I planned on doing today, I didn't even get a chance to do because, baby, when I tell you the news cycle has been popping, it's been going crazy. And I just wanted to be able to get everything that was in the algorithm going while it's still in the news cycle. The readings that I did plan on doing, they're still going to get done this week. But this is going to be my last one of the night, hopefully. And, oh, geez. All of this because somebody decided to walk away from you due to secret energy that they didn't want a part of. Now, the interesting part is the Weeknd still hasn't thrown you under the bus and told the whole reason why he left. And I think that, Drake, you should just bow out gracefully and accept that sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and that's just the cost of doing business. Also, you got to treat people better. You can't control people, micromanage people, and talk to people crazy, allegedly, just so you can use them for your come up, but they never eventually come up because the goal is to make sure that everybody around you makes you look good, but they just gotta, wing it and hope for the best. So that's the energetic tap in that I got on the energy between Drake and the Weeknd. And it's quite interesting to see what's really behind why these two don't get along. And now that I've looked into it, I'm siding with the Weeknd. I would have left too. Hopefully, no more incidents come out of anything for anybody, and everybody can make money and be peaceful and be blessed. But when egos and tempers get to flaring, you never know what can happen and how things will go. So, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. And hopefully, nobody else pops off tonight. Y'all have a good night. Angels and spirit guides, please close this portal. Send everybody's energy back to them. Whew. And this reading is adjourned. Talk to y'all soon. Good night.